Hi, it's Dr. Julie Gilbert from Oregon Weight and Wellness. Um, Welcome. I'm going solo today because Rachel, my friend and colleague, she's down for the count with her back. But Rachel, we hope you feel better soon and look forward to our discussion. But I have to point out before we get started today, look at this gorgeous painting. You can't see the beauty of it. I could get closer, maybe not closer. I'm tagged by my cord, but yeah. So Rachel's husband is an artist, and he painted that picture. So one day I'll get closer and a close up of that. But anyway, we are continuing our conversation about Sleep Smarter, this book. At Oregon Weight and Wellness, we focus on lifestyle and in regarding nutrition and activity and sleep and stress management, because sleep is so important for health. And today we are in chapter 13, and and it's all about the name of the chapter is Lose Weight and Don't Find It Again. Yeah, thanks, Sean. Easy for you to say. Yeah, and actually to that point, he makes a point of recognizing how challenging weight loss is. But first of all, there is this cycle of sleep affecting weight and weight affecting sleep, and and one affects the other. When you have good sleep, you have good, better hormone functioning or hormone regulation, and that in turns helps weight regulation. When your sleep is poor, you change that hormone regulation, and that can disrupt healthy weight regulation. So, in the same way, then extra weight or excess weight affects the quality of the sleep. So it can be a vicious cycle. So somewhere we have to cut in and make it better. And we're talking about all these things to tap in and give us better sleep, so that our hormones can be better regulated and our weight can be better regulated. So they all tie together. And I just love the beauty of the body, of the human body. And if we understand it, not everything, not, because actually we know what we know, but there's so much we don't know, right? But if we can understand some of it and tap into those small things we can do, then we can expect to be healthier. So far, I was going to list off the sleep tips that I've gotten from reading the book so far and what I've done. So I've made sure the room is cool. Our house is set to about 65 degrees in the wintertime. We put sweaters on to keep ourselves warm. But the room is colder than the rest of the house, and I open a window. So that's new. That's new since reading this book. We've changed the kind of sheets that we use. No more flannel. No more flannel. We're using cotton sheets, or actually I'm going to explore bamboo sheets too. I was wondering, Rachel, what you know about bamboo sheets. But and then the TV is gone out of the room. It wasn't there. It was put there for I don't know exactly what reason, but anyway, it's gone. It's out of the room, and which is great. We're setting a schedule for going to sleep, and we're trying to stick to that. And then the last thing that we did, which we talked about last week, was get our friends out of the room. So not just our pets. Once upon a time, our big Bernese Mountain dog was sleeping in the room with us. She's not in the room anymore. But no, so my phone, I don't have right next to my bed anymore. I have it's more than 6 feet away, 12 feet away in the bathroom. Now the bathroom door is open, so I can hear I can hear the alarm go off. So, but anyway, so that's my latest hack or improvement in my sleep hygiene is getting that phone out of the bedroom. So we're talking about, though, he says, chapter 13, Lose Weight and Don't Find It Again. And I wanted to jump to the tips, and I like the little, he's got a little cartoon on there, and it says the avocado was staring in the mirror and said, "But you're a good fat." Anyway, it's cute. Power tip number 1: if you really need to have something to eat closer to bedtime, his suggestion is higher fat, lower carb in the snack. And the reasoning behind that is that if you have carbohydrates, you're going to automatically stimulate insulin, your pancreas to produce insulin to deal with that sugar that's coming in and getting broken down and needing, your body needs to do something with that. And so night or the evening, melatonin actually has, if we played our cards right and did the rest of our sleep hygiene, when we're going to sleep, melatonin is directing the pancreas, don't release insulin right now. You can take a break from your insulin release. And then if we eat something that has carbs, then we're giving a mixed signal to our pancreas, and it's saying, oh, wait, you got to deal with the sugar. You can't rest. So get after it. And so we're kind of confusing our hormone release, and we're confusing our organs that are like, we're like, okay, well, I thought we were going to take a break right now. Guess not. So if you're hungry, his suggestion is eat a little bit more fat. Now, my question is, why are you hungry? And so did you eat enough at dinner time to help you feel full? And so, and what are the things that help you feel full? Well, I'm glad you asked. That's going to be protein, actually protein in the morning, and that gets to another tip. But so we want to start our day with protein because that really sets the tone for hunger for the whole day, including that evening time. So, but that evening meal doesn't have to be huge. Hopefully is not right before bed, because so that we don't disrupt the evening fluctuation or downward trend of certain hormones like insulin. But it's enough to keep us full and satisfied. So protein, some vegetables, just a little bit of healthy fat, maybe not as many carbs in that evening meal. And then his suggestion is eating, at least 90 minutes before our lights out. Most people will say a good 3 hours, but I'm going to say 2. I'm going to go in between and say 2 hours, because it does take some time, 2 hours, to digest protein when you eat it. And then your body can, or your organs that deal with digestion can rest. So, but yeah, his suggestion is if you're hungry and you need something to eat, then have a little, lower carb snack. Now, celery is a low carb snack, right? Yeah. Cucumbers, that's low carb, right? A hunk of cabbage, low carb, not super tasty, but low carb, and it might take the edge off that hunger. And then think about maybe a piece of cheese. I don't know. But think about then what you ate, if you're getting hungry before bedtime, think about what you ate during the day. Was it enough to keep you full and satisfied so that you don't get hungry right before bed? And the other question is, did you stay up a little later than you should have? Because what I know is that if you go to bed past midnight, your hunger hormone ghrelin is going to kick in. So number 1, what did you eat during the day and why are you hungry right now? Number 2, am I going to bed too late? Maybe I need to go to bed earlier. All right. Power tip number 2, he says, nutrient deficiency will lead to persistent overeating, which will lead to poor sleep and poor overall health. And so what he's getting to here is when I eat food, I want to make sure they're nutrient dense. I want to make sure that they have the nutrients that are essential. What I need, my body can't make, I have to eat them. And if I'm eating highly processed, ultra ultra processed foods, I can count on two things. Number one, they ding another area of my brain that says eat more. You're not satisfied. And number two, I can know they don't have the nutrients that I need to turn off hunger. So part of the reason we get hungry is to get what our body needs. And if we're not giving our body what we need in form of nutrient dense food, it's going to keep hunger going. So I want to eat protein, amino acids. I want to eat vitamins and minerals, foods that are vegetables, rich in vitamins and minerals. I need a little bit of healthy fat to get those omega-3s and some omega-6s and to help absorb the nutrients from the protein, from the vegetables. So protein, vegetables, a little bit of healthy fat, that gives me the essential nutrients my body needs. And then the sensors in my body will tell my brain, hey, you got what you need. You don't have to search for food anymore. But if I'm constantly eating ultra processed food, two things happen. My body doesn't get those signals to say you have what you need. And number two, it overstimulates this dopamine nucleus accumbens pleasure center in my brain that says eat more, you're not satisfied, eat more. So point taken, nutrient dense food. And then number three, he says first meal should be an epic one. Okay. I appreciate here what he's saying, because that first meal of the day, whenever you have it, is the most important one, because you're breaking a fast. That's why we call it breakfast. Most people say breakfast is the morning meal. It's not necessarily the morning meal. It's the first meal that you have after you have fasted. You are breaking the fast. You can have it at 7 in the morning. You can have it at 10. You can have it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I am breaking my fast at 12, 13. Right now I have some bone broth right here. But I'm breaking a fast to start a fast. But anyway, topic for another day. But the first meal of the day, when your body is ready, when your hormones are primed to do something with nutrients, you want to put the good stuff in. You always want to put the good stuff in, but it's most important to do in the morning. And I always think protein. We already said this, protein, the amino acids that you need. Your body can't make them. You need them, a certain amount of them, to keep muscle building going, to set the tone for hunger during the day, to make you feel full and satisfied. So protein is essential. And those vitamins and minerals. And his suggestion is to try to keep the fast going a little bit more by not overstimulating insulin with a lot of quick energy foods like donuts or pancakes or muffins. That is quick energy, no fiber, that's going straight in, really driving up insulin. And then you might get hungry a couple hours later. But if you have nutrient dense food, protein, vegetables, healthy fat, an egg, an omelet, for example, with some mushrooms and onions and peppers and things like that, you're going to feel full and satisfied and give your body the nutrients that it needs. The signals are going to be all in the right balance, and that's going to set you up for a good night's sleep. All right, awesome. Let's see, what else does he have to say here? I think we've come to the end of the tips, and his suggestion and ours is to upgrade your nutrition. You got to eat food. You might as well make it good food. It's all expensive, and you might as well invest in what you ingest. Make it good, nutrient dense, and that's one way to improve the quality of your sleep. You improve your sleep quality, you help your hormone regulation, which helps your weight regulation. All right. So dinner tonight, I mentioned bone broth. So my husband and I are fasting right now. But to start in on my fast, I'm going to have a little bone broth today, and then we'll go to a different, I'm kind of weaning myself down to a water fast. But anyway, that bone broth is what I'll have for now and for dinner time. and it's delicious. I roast the bones first when we buy a side of beef or a whole cow, and we get the bones with it. You know, this is a grass-fed finished cow, and so we get those bones. And then I roast them a little bit first, and then I threw them in my Instant Pot with carrots, onions, celery, peppercorns, thyme, a little bit of salt, bay leaves, and I guess the first time around I did put tomato paste in there, and then I did that in my Instant Pot for an hour, and then I drained off the fluid, and then just kept everything in there, and added a little more onion, and then put another 8 glasses of water in there, or 8 cups of water, and did it all again. So I think I'm going to get 3 rounds out of those bones, and that's going to give me minerals and calcium, phosphorus, magnesium in that broth, and yummy flavors in that broth, which is going to help me transition into the short period of fasting. But more on that later. In the meantime, happy sleeping.